No one knew where I was. And that's gotta be, like, kind of stressful for a sergeant, like, the sergeant major. Like, he gave me shit afterwards. But, yeah, I made it back to the hangar. I remember walking in and I was like, what's up, dude? And, like, they're just like, yo, welcome back, man. And I remember I walked into the fucking, I walked into airframes, like, fucking big dick swinging. I was just like, what up, players? What up, bitches? And, like, everyone was like, yo, dog, what's up? And I remember, like, I was kind of a big deal for a minute. Just for a second. But, like, I had my moment in the sun when I walked in. I remember Shoal's eyes lit up, fucking Kamo turning around. She gave me, like, the, oh, you're okay eyes. At least I think she did. I just assumed she did. I hope she did. Yeah, but, like, everyone was like, yo, what happened? Did you get some? Like, did you fucking kill anybody? And I was like, nah, no, didn't get nobody. But, I remember, like, they were like, Gunny wants to talk to you. And I remember I was like, okay. And I remember I came into his office, and Gunny Real, who was like, people give him shit, but, like, he wasn't that bad of a guy. Like, he just gave, he hadn't shaved, he was a fucking bear, dude. He had, like, a full beard, and, like, just a gun. He had a pistol on his fucking desk. Like, it was a fucking mob meeting. And it just was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Where were you? And I went to parade rest, and he's just like, man, don't run off, man. Like, we didn't know where you were, dude. They thought you were dead. We sent dudes looking for you and shit. And he was just so tired. Gunny Real didn't chew me out. He, like, barely whispered to me. And I just, like, took the heat, man. I was like, I realized that I had kind of run off, and I had put some people, like, in some pretty tight spots. And then I went back into phase that Saturday morning, and Staff Sergeant Aquino was like, what the fuck, man? Like, me and Torres both walked in, and, like, Staff Sergeant Aquino was like, what the fuck? What's wrong with both of y'all? Like, Staff Sergeant Aquino was this crazy dude from the fucking New York City, man. He didn't fuck around. He was pretty cool, though. And he was just like, dude, you didn't have fucking nothing. You didn't have a flak. You didn't have a Kevlar. You didn't have a fucking coat on, Arnold. Like, you too, Torres. Like, what the shit, man? Like, you know, you weren't taught to run the fuck off. You were taught to, like, organize. And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, I was like, sorry. Like, I wasn't sorry, but I was like, oh, what I did was wrong, and I'll never do it again, I promise. I felt like I was, like, back in elementary school. And I was apologizing for being a fucking baller. Ooh, child. And, yeah. I remember, like, Torres and I kind of got, like, another half-ass chewing from Staff Sergeant Aquino. He was pretty fucking wiped. And, like, people were just sleeping around the shops. Flightline was packed. Like, Phase was packed. No, Airframes, sorry. I'm a fucking moron. Airframes was packed because, like, their shop was pretty big. Like, we were stacked in Afghanistan. And, so I slept in Phase. Well, I didn't really sleep. I just kind of, like, sat on the bench. And I remember just kind of, like, trying to doze off. And I, like, couldn't. Not because I was, like, scared to fall asleep. I just was, like, I was up. Like, I was just kind of, like, surviving. Like, I was just kind of, like, burning the fuel. And, so maybe I, like, dozed off a little bit. But I remember I was eating. I was, definitely, like, trying to, like, still eat food. And, there was no work that day. Like, all flights were grounded. Like, everyone was, like, ordered to fucking stay inside. Like, they shut down fucking operations, man. Like, the aftermath of this fight was not pretty. Like, we lost 2 dudes that night, like, and one of them was a fucking commanding officer of 211. I think out of, like, Yuma or Lemoore, I think, somewhere close by, close-ish. He was a fucking CO. And they got him, dude. They got him with fucking shrapnel, I think. I think the citation reads like he led a counterattack, like with like a fucking M9. And like that's what the citation says. I don't want to say the citation is wrong. I just like I have a feeling that something else happened. I got word that he stepped out of his office. He said, "What the fuck's going on?" And a mortar hits right in front of him, and he takes shrapnel to the fucking neck, and he bleeds out right there in front of the door. I don't know who told me that. What a grisly fucking story. God, I don't even know if that's true, but like that's how I remember this. That's gross. Yeah. And yeah, by the time that like that weekend was up, like we were able to leave that Sunday night. But like at pass down, I remember like Staff Sergeant Aquino and Staff Sergeant Bell were like, "Yo, let this be a reminder that like we're still like in a fucking war zone. Like remember that this is a war, and like people are here, or like well, I guess you are here to kill people who are here to kill you. Like you fucking got it, like." Yeah, and like shit kind of like straightened up around the squadron. Like we weren't fucking around as much. Yeah, I guess let's think of Afghanistan after the attack. This is kind of like a wandering introspective journey into the story of Afghanistan. So after the Afghanistan attack, they had burned fucking 6 planes too. Like they had melted like 5 or 6 to the frame. Like they were melted. These things burned. And like 2 of them were like shot full of holes. Like they totaled like 7 or 8 planes. And like the squadron just left. Like they just had to pack up their things and leave. And I think that was the same squadron that might have been the same squadron that lost their CO. Like, what a fucking way to leave that war, dog. That would be a fucking defeat for me. Like, let's recap what happened to 211. Like, if I am correct. During the attack, CO walks out. CO gets tagged. CO drops. Meanwhile, 6 of their planes fucking burn to the chicken wire. Did someone knock on my door? Alright. Oh, sorry for the interruption. 6 of them had melted to the chicken wire. And they were ordered to pack up what they could. They salvaged everything that they could. They packed up all their tools. And they left Afghanistan as their mission could not be further carried on. Like, they brought their own planes to Afghanistan. Which means when their planes burned, their fucking, like, equity burned. Like, their fucking squadron burned. And, so all those dudes, like, all the guys in 211 that lost their CO and, like, lost all their planes, like, they packed up and went home. Like, within 30 days. Like, they weren't replaced. Because no squadron was ready. Or they just weren't, they were wrapping up the war and they weren't bringing any more, I think they were maybe they were Harriers. Harriers or Hornets or F-18s. It was some jet squadron. Yeah. And they were just gone. And I thought that was that felt like truth be told, that felt like a defeat to me. I believe that we, if it was winner or loser, we had survived fine, but we had lost the Battle of Bastion to the enemy that night. I know you're never supposed to think that, but like those dudes came in here to die, and their mission was to fuck up as much shit as they could. Their job was to fucking wreck house, and they succeeded. They killed fucking 2 people. They killed a commanding officer and melted a squadron to the frames, dude. If that were my little band of brothers, Oh, if the roles were reversed and I was the fucking rebel in the Empire, yo, I'd feel pretty fucking sick. I give respect to the enemy, man. I know we're not supposed to, but man, I'd give him I'd kill him. I mean, even now, like, my mercy has limits. I'll be honest, I'm a flawed human. I'd kill the fucking enemy if I had to. But yeah, after that, just like every little controlled debt and like every little stray noise you heard, you thought that it was the enemy. Every noise was like, what if that's other dudes dying? And that's paranoia, man. That can be hard sometimes. Now that I think about it, I slept fine. I don't have PTSD. I didn't have trouble sleeping. I slept like a fucking baby. I didn't care. Fucking, they told us to like shower in pairs. And so Charlie and I hung up our rifles in the shower racks and showered with our fucking like curtains open. Dicks fucking swinging in the wind. Charlie and I became best friends that night. It was so stupid. Like, we weren't scared, dude. We fucking quadrupled all the security on Bastion, dude. No way was anything getting in twice. So we just kind of like, I kind of cooled down. But like, you always kind of like, you're always at a low boil with that kind of stuff, I'll be honest. And, where was I? After the fight, I remember coming into work and onto the flight line that next Monday morning when we reserved flight hours, and I yelled, "Good morning, 361! How was your weekend?" And someone yelled like, "Crazy!" And someone was like, "Shut the fuck up, Arnold!" I remember just like soaking it up. I loved the attention. I was a hype man at FODWalk. Because I was a little fucking asshole. I loved the attention. I was a diva. But I remember, like, the CO, like, he really digged my style. He told me once, I wish I could get in touch with that guy, Lieutenant Colonel Jay Holterman. He was a really cool dude, and, like, he liked my spirit. He liked the morale. I'm going to track that dude down before this book is done, and I'm going to definitely thank him. But, like, yeah, afterwards, like, FODWalk was, like, when it was done, like, I mean, like, well, no, everything went back to normal. Like, we just were, like, always kind of heightened. We had, like, more duties. Like, we had more posts that we had to man. And, like, the concrete wall went up around the fucking highway real fucking quick. And, everything kind of locked up and then just kind of, like, stayed cool. Or kind of, like, stayed warm. Which is whatever. It's boring, but, like, who cares? So it takes another 30 seconds to get through a checkpoint. Big fucking deal. Wham. Hoof it. So after the attack, like, God, I keep repeating that phrase. That was, September 12th. So by, like, October 1st, like, by the end of September, like, we were, like, whatever. Like, nothing had happened. And October 1st, I'll remember it because Sergeant Roberts got pinned to Staff Sergeant. And we were all in formation. And they were in the middle of, like, pinning Staff Sergeants, which is, like, a big deal. Like, picking up staff's a big deal. And Staff Sergeant Roberts is picking up. And someone else. I feel bad because I can't remember. It was someone cool, though. And in the middle of the fucking ceremony, man, there was this huge fucking explosion that, like, pushed the squadron forward a little bit. Like, we felt it. And I remember it very distinctly. And I remember, like, the CO kind of, like, stood back up. Like, I didn't move. Like, no one moved right away. And by the time the CO's just like, break. Like, everyone, like, ran back into the squadron and grabbed their PPE, and we ran into the bunkers, and, like, we got a head count, and, like, we were fucking locked on. Like, we were fucking practiced. We were in that bunker in less than like 3 minutes. Like,